You're trying to feel your way through. You listen to your gut, you watch for signs, but nothing lines up. What they say, what you feel, what's expected, none of it adds up. The signal isn't very clear. I'm Beverly. In this podcast, we slow things down. We look at emotion, identity, trauma, power, and what it means to be human in systems that don't always care if we are. Trust isn't just a nice idea. It's the glue that holds everything together. We rely on institutions, government, the NHS, the media, the courts, to provide stability, structure, and guidance. They're meant to offer information we can count on, especially in times of uncertainty. But that trust has been slipping, and the research shows it. A 2023 UK survey published in the Journal of Social and Political Psychology points to a marked decline in public trust across core institutions. It's not just a vague feeling, it's measurable, and it's been happening over the last decade. A 2024 study links this decline directly to disinformation environment. It's a vicious circle. Disinformation makes people doubt the system, and that doubt leaves them more exposed to even more misleading information. The more uncertain things feel, the more people look for answers elsewhere, often in places that aren't reliable. And it's not just one institution, it's happening across the board. Take government and politics. The fallout from Brexit, the handling of the pandemic, years of austerity, they've all chipped away at people's faith in political leadership. For many, it's not just mistrust, it's disconnection. Some feel ignored, others feel actively betrayed. The NHS, long seen as one of the most trusted institutions in the UK, didn't escape unscathed either. During COVID, communication faltered. Misinformation filled the gaps, and for some communities, especially those already facing healthcare inequalities, trust in the system took a serious hit. Then there's the media. Traditional journalism, once seen as a safeguard against power, is now viewed by some as biased, sensationalist, or elitist. At the same time, social media platforms, the new arenas for public discourse, are seen as both enablers and culprits in the spread of disinformation. They're the stage and the storm. And in law enforcement and the justice system, long-standing issues of institutional racism and high-profile scandals have damaged credibility, particularly among ethnic minority communities and other marginalized groups. But this loss of trust isn't just political, it's personal. When people don't trust institutions, they often step back, they disengage from voting, from debates, from decisions that shape public life. Some stop listening altogether. Others retreat into smaller circles where everyone agrees but no one feels heard. This withdrawal doesn't solve anything. It hardens the divides, makes cooperation harder, and as researchers point out, it sets up a feedback loop. When you can't trust the mainstream, you turn to alternatives, and often those alternatives are even less credible, but they feel more familiar, more comfortable, and that comfort feeds cynicism. Of course, it's not all bleak. Not everyone has lost trust, not in every institution, not in the same way. Some local organizations are still deeply trusted. Some communities are finding new ways to connect and support each other. And being critical of institutions isn't a bad thing. It's necessary. A healthy democracy depends on it. The key difference is whether that critique leads to reform or retreat. Many researchers, psychologists, and counselors offer practical ways to rebuild. Transparency is crucial, not just saying what's going well, but owning up when things go wrong. Accountability matters, not just promises, but consequences. Inclusion helps, making sure every voice actually counts, And education plays a central role, equipping people to make sense of information rather than just reacting to it. None of this is easy, but trust, once lost, doesn't return on its own. It has to be rebuilt patiently, publicly, and with lots of listening. And it starts with being honest about what's broken and what might still be repaired.